to 660 cedis per bag for the coming 2021 cocoa season.
So that's the president announcing that 28% increment in the producer price of cocoa effective October 1, 2020. We'll try and reach the minister in charge of agriculture, Dr. Oguswefri Yakoto, to understand the factors accounting for this increment at this time. But thankfully, we've been joined in the studios by the chairman of the Ghana National Cocoa Farmers Association, Dr. Steven Singanani. We're grateful for your time here on Newsnight. You must be a happy man.
Well, not too bad.
Welcome news for you.
Thank you.
28% enough?
Well, we manage. It's good.
Were
not
you expecting
because, it? Because if he did not increase it, there was nothing we could have done.
Well, so now it's 660 Ghana cedis per bag, we are told. I was asking if that is welcome news for you and how that is going to impact your activities.
Actually, we manage because all along we expect it to be higher. But we can't get it like that.
How high were you expecting it to be?
Well, when I met my people, we were expecting it to be, if it would be about 10,000 cedis per bag, we will be okay. But if 660, we manage because our interest is to look at our welfare, which we have for some years now fought for. That is our pension scheme, health insurance, etc., which for a long time we are looking forward to get it. So if it's increasing it this way, we know the pension scheme is also in process. Yes. So which means it's likely it's going to be added to it to make us joy. I mean, we will like it. We like it, and we are much appreciative to what he has done.
But it's interesting that you say that you were expecting 1,000 Ghana cedis. Why are you pegging it at that figure? Well, you got 660 starting 1st October, but I'm curious why you were hoping for 1,000 Ghana cedis.
You know, cocoa farmers, we always think cocoa prices, because they don't reason with us, they don't involve us in the decision and policy making on cocoa pricing. We always doubting whatever price they come out with. So we suspect that if it comes to 1,000 cedis, it would have been better because, as he said, the well price. I mean, government always based on the well price.
Yeah, because we know that the times are not ordinary, especially with the COVID season and all. So you think that is enough as we speak? So
yes, we manage. As I said, it's good. It's not bad because if he did not increase it, I mean, we can do nothing. I mean, we have nothing to do. So once he has done it, I think it's better because last year he did a lot of, and now he has topped it up. So we manage. It's gradually going up. And we expect our pension scheme and these things will also come and top it up.
Well, we know you have issues about living income differential, but let's speak to the minister now.
The deputy minister in charge of the agri business is joining us on the telephone line right now. Let's speak to Kennedy Osei Nyako, joins us on the telephone line. He's the deputy agri minister. Thank you, sir, for your time here on Newsnight. If you can explain briefly what went into the calculation for the increase.
Yes, thank you for having me. You know, producer price determination depends on the world market price, and that's largely what we use in determining the producer price. So, before COVID, we saw some little jump in the cocoa price at the world market. But during the COVID period, it has slumped down, it has come down to 2,100. Even last year, before we were able to increase it a little bit to 515, we saw some kind of increase to 2,350. As we speak now on the world market, a ton of cocoa is going for $2,100. Okay, so you could see there's some sharp decrease in the price. Now, what has saved us, this country, what has saved us and has also brought in some kind of relief to the farmers is the living income differential. And this was, let's say, it was an innovative idea, whatever, how you want to describe it, that government decided to have that kind of discussion with our buyers outside, in addition to Cote d'Ivoire, to find a way of getting a sustainable way of having some kind of fund that we'll use to, as a buffer, or whenever there's a wet price decrease, we'll use to cover the farmer. So we're able to do this kind of discussion with our suppliers, and we're able to get $400 different as a living income differential. And that is what is going to sustain. That is what has determined the price jump to from the 550 to the 660 that we are seeing today. Because had it not be this living income differential, like you all know, it's the price of the cocoa either would stay at where it is now, or there could have even be a little reduction. But government say, hey, let's find a new way of making sure that the farmer is being protected, because of the nature of work that they do. We have to find a way to protect them. And that is how come we have been able to put this kind of policy there, which is going to ensure that at all times there will be certain portion of the price of cocoa that we earn on the international market set aside to support the farmer. So that is how come we have been able to increase the cocoa price by about 28%. I think this is the highest so far that I have come across, and I think it's something that is good for the farmer. We would have wished that would have gone beyond the 660. We have gone beyond that, but we couldn't get the chance because of the price at the wet market. So, but we will take it like that, and pray that as we move forward, maybe 2021, 2022, we'll be able to get a better price and increase it heavily than what we have done now for the farmer. Okay,
so the farmers that were expecting 1,000 Ghana cedis, for instance, but you were talking about the living income differential. Just quick clarification. As it stands now, they were expecting a $400 extra per ton on it. Is that what has accounted for this 28% increment? Just a quick clarification on that. Are we still working with the living income differential, or the increment is outside that?
Yes, like I said, the price of cocoa has slumped down, so there haven't been any increase. So government wouldn't have increased the price of cocoa if there hadn't been the living income differential. So in the absence of the increase in the prices of the cocoa on the world market, which will have influenced a price adjustment, we are using the living income differential, which is the $400. And if you break the 400, like you said, we are talking about $25 per increase per bag, and that is what have come to say. And this is the, initiation by some initiatives by the government. We decided to sit down to have that kind of, discussion or arrangement down, so that anytime prices of cocoa goes down on the world market, we push it into just shore up the price to cover the farmer. And that is what exactly we have used the $400 to do to cover the farmer.
Well, let's talk about the timing also of this announcement, of this increment, politically motivated.
Well, how can this be politically motivated? This is the first time we are having the LID, which is the living income differential. No government have sat down to think about how to better the lives of cocoa farmers in such instances. It's under this government that we have been able to. And this negotiation, I'm happy I led the team for this discussion with my colleague minister in Ivory Coast. We had the discussion and we came to the conclusion that it can only start. We started it way back in 2018. And finally, when the agreement was sealed, it was agreed that it should start from 2020, 2021. And this is the new cocoa season is going to start from October 1st. That is the best time we could have announced it. And we have been talking about this living income differential from day one, when we were going to roll out and all those stuff. So it has nothing to do with politics. It has nothing naturally to do with politics. Government thinks about have the cocoa farmer at heart, and government is doing everything to make sure that he protect the cocoa farmer and give whatever they need, they deserve to also have it so that they also feel comfortable to go back to the farm and produce more of these beans for the country to also sell it and some kind of taxes to develop the country. So
okay.
That is it.
Thank you so much for the clarification there. That's Kennedy Osei-Nyarko, who is the Deputy Agric Minister. We'll wrap up with you, Mr. Stevenson Anane. So you hear the Minister. This should help increase production and more yield and all. You're confident that that is going to happen?
Well, it's like that. We are all looking at that this thing will happen. By the time, the increment and how they have increased it, we like it. We have nothing to say as farmers because they don't reason with us. They don't, sit down with us when prices are determined. So it always comes just like that. So we take it like that. We have nothing to say.
Mr. Stevenson Anane, we are grateful for your time. That's the chairman of the Ghana National Cocoa Farmers Association. We'll stay a while longer with the president because it's just about 74 days to the December 7 polls, and he's tonight updating the Western North region of projects undertaken by his government.
Well, according to him, there are currently 400 projects being executed in the region, with 197 already completed and the remaining 203 still ongoing. Inaugurating the Western North Regional House of Chiefs, President Akufo-Addo indicated the region will have its share of the Government Agenda 111, which seeks to build hospitals in underserved areas.
The districts without hospitals in Western North region, which will be covered by Agenda 111, are Bia East, Bodi, and Swamai. Further, Nanano might take the opportunity of this platform to give you a brief account of some of the principal activities undertaken by government in your region in these last 3.5 years. There are 400 projects being executed in the region, with 197 completed and the remaining 203 ongoing. Out of the 197 completed projects, 52 are in the educational sector, 10 in the health sector, 16 in the road sector, and 67 in the water and sanitation sector. The 203 ongoing projects comprise, amongst others, 81 in the educational sector, 20 in the health sector, 4 in the road sector, and 46 in the water and sanitation sector. With 4 more for Nana and the MPP, we'll do even more for you. Nananum government will continue to support the chieftaincy institution so it can be strong and resilient. 6 new office complex and bungalows will be provided in the 6 new regional houses of chiefs. Additionally, as I have said, we will strive to give to the institution the requisite support to resolve chieftaincy matters and carry out research in the many areas of relevance to curb chieftaincy-related conflicts.
President Akufo-Addo in the Western North region. And from the camp of the president, we head to the vice president, and he's also touring the Bono region. Nana Hayao Busum III, chief of Bongase in the Banda district, has been speaking, and he says they will boycott the December polls if the security deployed to safeguard the election process tends to rather intimidate them.
Well, he was speaking during a Durban in honor of the vice president, Alhaji Muhammadu Bawumia, who is on the tour of the region.
I can't get near the politics. Then you know, car coins to be real Sana politics to be real of office, union 4 years ago, 4 years come, 8 years ago, 8 years come. And yet they are the bishop move really more. Woman can say a TV for a sense that I see Krumuhan and no one has a phone and a fool. No more Nippon, and a nefu. Maybe she a young mobile program. The Boba got here. The master who will get your company. Namonga sent them more young man, your family say yes, the mother and Yado. Say, yeah, but what Nata who will be the Baha say, or more about the Bobby, you who bind your belly away, and your battle yet to Ewo Gromuha. It's a so beku as I go say, yen too. Muka Sankilo.
That's the chief of Bongasi, Elton John Brobe, will help us with the interpretation of what he's been saying.
So if I was talking about the fact that the confusion that led to the death of the teacher was not instigated by the chiefs, but rather by followers of the two political parties. And going into the December 7, 2020 elections, if the president and the opposition leadership will not advise their members to refrain from violence, then the chiefs and the people will not come out to vote in the elections.
Well, but stay with us. You'll give us an interpretation of what the vice president has been saying, because he's been responding to the chiefs and his subjects, and he's assuring of peaceful elections while appreciating their efforts in sustaining the peace of the area.
So the vice president is talking about peace and the need for peace before and during and after the elections, and that is also advising followers of the two political parties to go by the dictates of the electoral process to ensure peace.
And he's still in the Bono region for that 2-day tour.
Well, let's go to the Takwang Swam constituency now, where, of course, that incident that led to the exchange of blows between a sitting MP and a presidential staffer is still rambling on. The party in the constituency now has a statement out, and they are asking the executives to institute disciplinary action against the presidential staffer, Charles Bisu. They're accusing him of scheming to dwindle the party's electoral fortunes in the constituency. Mr. Bisu has been in the news this week after pictures of him sporting a bloody eye amidst a completely disfigured face in the wake of the fight with Takwang Swam MP George Berkuduka. Of course, has been an issue that the party itself is having to deal with, they say, internally. The constituency secretary, Fuseni Amadou Rashid, in a statement has been setting the record straight in their view in what actually transpired between the two. Elton Brobe joins me with details of this. What is the statement saying on what led to the fight? Do we know anything more?
Yes, Evans. According to the statement, the party leadership had a workshop to address ongoing issues regarding some members who are behind people who want to go independent in the upcoming general election. So Mr. Charles Bisu was invited because his name had come up as one responsible for funding an independent candidate in the Takwang Swam constituency. The statement goes to say that Charles Bisu has sufficiently shown by deeds and action that he supports an independent candidate against Honorable Duka, the MP member of Parliament and also the parliamentary candidate for the constituency. Suffice to inform that the Constituency Executive Committee had earlier reported the unpatriotic behavior of Mr. Bisu to the regional hierarchy at a similar meeting. Now, to their surprise, according to the statement, during this gathering, Charles Bisu took offense and sought permission from the facilitator to rebut Honorable Duke's claim. As typical of him, Mr. Bisu hits a low key by inciting the president against the sitting MP, who is also the parliamentary candidate for the constituency. Now, the gathering, according to the statement, in one accord disapproved of Mr. Bisu's unrelated ploy to the extent that the microphone was taken away from him. Now, in his desperation, according to...
So he wasn't happy with the fact that the microphone was taken away from him. Okay.
And the statement says that in his desperation, he walked angrily and aggressively from the pulpit towards Honorable Duka at his seat amidst chants, "You, this boy, I will beat you today." Now, true to his word, according to the statement, and to the amazement of the gathering, he pounced on Honorable Duka and started throwing punches. Now, Honorable Duka had no option, according to the statement, but to go for the natural self-defense principle. Now, this principle, according to the statement, resulted in the middle finger of Honorable Duka landing in the waiting jaws of Mr. Bisu.
Landed in the waiting jaws.
Exactly.
Was already open. Okay, tell us more.
And was severely beaten.
Was severely beaten.
Right.
So the finger, middle finger, landed in the waiting jaws, was not biting, but severely.
Right. And on social media, you I'm sure you've come across pictures of
this bandage
attack inflicted on him by Mr. Bisiu. Now the statement said that this incident, though regrettable, happened at the full glare of the gathering, and as a result, attempt by Mr. Bisiu to put a spin on it in a public space where Western is already tainted.
Because he had said that he wasn't the aggressor, that he was in essence attacked. Let's bring in the Municipal Chief Executive for Takwa, Benjamin Kessie, who joins us on the telephone line. He's the Chief Representative of the President in that particular area. Thank you, sir, Mr. Kessie, for your time here on Newsnight.
Thank you for having me.
I'm sure you've seen the statement that has been issued by the Takwa and Swahim constituency. Does that accurately reflect what happened? Were you in this meeting, by the way?
I was in the meeting.
Okay. Does it reflect what exactly happened?
Exactly what happened is what is in the statement.
Okay. So it is Mr. Charles Bisiu who was the aggressor.
In fact, the statement tells it all, that it was a gathering for Western North and Western region, and the dignitaries that had gathered know what I'm talking about. So anybody who comes out to say that Charles Bisiu was rather attacked would cause more harm than good, because it didn't happen in secret. It happened at a gathering, and at the gathering it was Charles Bisiu who walked aggressively towards the member of parliament and started attacking until the member of parliament got up and also defended himself.
Let me clarify. The picture of Charles Bisiu that we've seen, his face looks disfigured. So you were in the meeting, you saw this.
Yeah.
How did that happen exactly? He was aggressor, and yet you see that he appears to have taken the bulk of the...
You see, I was even seated closer to the member of parliament. So when the member of parliament got up and blocked the blow, the second one, when he raised the hand just entered into the mouth of the presidential staffer, Bisiu, and there was a severe bite. So the member of parliament had to punch him to get his hand off. That is why he was not able to get a hand off. He was severally biting the hand. If you see the hand, the finger I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a clear testimony. So
yes, I saw this appears to be his right hand, the middle finger of his right hand.
Yes, of his right hand. So he had to use the left to punch him for Bisiu to leave the finger, to just open the jaw for the finger to come off.
Okay, so because I'm just trying to imagine it is his left hand, jabs and blows from his left hand that inflicted that damage.
Yes.
Is he a lefty?
Yes.
Do we know if he uses his left? Is he a leftist? Do we know?
Do I know?
Mm-hmm.
He does what?
That he's a leftist. Do we know?
No, he's not. He's not.
No, seeing the swollen eye and how serious the punches were, we're wondering.
Yeah, so that's not what happened. That's what I'm telling you.
But all this while that this was happening, you were in the meeting. We are told that the campaign chairman was also in the meeting. Lord Comey was also in the meeting. What were you all doing at this point?
You see, it was never expected. It was not anybody's expectation. We thought that Bisiu was just coming around to say a word and go back. So we were all seated or looking on, because it was so unexpected that Bisiu would walk from the stage to where Honorable Duka was seated and then begin to attack. Nobody expected it. So the action, we only went to separate them when the action had started.
So it's happened. The statement is asking for disciplinary action to be taken. I know you are the MCE in this particular area. What has been done to address the issues that had come up?
Yeah, the party had earlier reported the actions of Honorable Bisiu to the regional hierarchy. In fact, everything proved to the point that he's behaving unpatriotic. is supporting an independent candidate in our constituency. And as a regional secretary, you don't have to do that. You see, the party went into vetting, and the regional chairman came out openly to declare who qualifies and who does not qualify. The next day, BSU boldly came out with a statement contradicting the regional chairman. The party had to go back. The vetting committee had to go back to correct that position. And since that day, he's been supporting everything he does in our constituency is to support the independent candidate. And we can't understand. Just this happening. What happened just recently?
Has the regional executives responded to the petition or the letter for them to take this action?
We trust that they will do something about it. For now, we've not heard from them, but we have.
What sort of penalty? What sort of discipline exactly are you asking for specifically?
Yeah, the constitution stipulates what exactly should be the case when incidents of this nature happen. So we're waiting on the regional executive to activate the relevant clauses. So we hear from them positively.
What clause exactly are you hoping they'll trigger?
Yeah, we have our grievance and disciplinary procedures in the constitution.
Well, thank you very much. That is the MC for Takwa there, speaking about the incident at which the Member of Parliament for Takwa and Swam and the presidential staffer, Charles Bichu, were involved in a scuffle. Not a scuffle. This is far more than a scuffle, actually. This is a proper fight. A proper fight that led to, some disfiguring of face and the biting of a finger. What do you make of this? Why don't you send us a WhatsApp, 055-1111-997.
Well, next door, in the central region, the NDC parliamentary candidate and scores of NDC supporters besieged the central regional EC office to demand the voters' ID of the candidate following an order of mandamus granted by an Accra High Court compelling the Electoral Commission to register the candidate. Well, we can hear from Dr. Kwamina Mensah Nyako in this interaction with Richard Kojo Nyako.
The court issued an order on Tuesday, and on that Tuesday, we served the EC with the order. From there, we came to Cape Coast yesterday. We gave a copy to the district, and then we've also come to the region to give them a copy. Apparently, when we got here yesterday, the regional officer wasn't there. So this morning, we had to come and see her. So we came to demand reasons why the registration has not been effected. That's what they've been telling you. Apparently, most of the information has been one directional, which is they are waiting for directive from national. So what it means is that each of them have their respective levels of position and command, and they cannot do that unless the national directs them to do so. So we came there to ask them to expedite that motion that we have been here. And for that matter, national should tell them exactly what they should do, and they will take it from there.
Does it surprise you that this one was done about 3 days ago? The order compelling the EC to register you was done about 3 days ago, and the national EC has been served, and then the regional and the metropolis have all been served. Are you surprised that still they have not really registered you or have not carried out the orders?
Yes, I'm really surprised, because what it means is that they are not really taking the order seriously, because what it meant was that we were supposed to have taken that order and the registration should have been done. You see, there has been issues with the EC's activity all this while. The emphasis here is that my name is already on the system, which they claim wasn't. So when we were doing the exhibition, I went to check and my name was there. Prior to that, they had told us that we've been disqualified and our name are not on that particular list. So we were surprised to see that my name was on the list. And then the serious part of it is that the name on the list, someone has used a red pen to write disqualified. And I think that is even unethical. If my name was not on the list, why should my picture appear on the exhibition? Okay? And secondly, why should someone use a pen? I'm sure the system should have taken my name to the session list. But once it's there, that means there's been some issues there. Because remember, during the registration, my card was issued to me. I left the premises. I was called back to come, that someone has challenged me after an hour. Then they took the card from me. When the end of day report came, my name was not captured on the challenge list. That means invariably I wasn't challenged. Okay, the EC lawyer came and lied.
Are these happenings threatening your ambition because you're already a parliamentary candidate on a ticket of a political party?
Exactly, in my opinion, that has been the issue, because they know that time for filing is fast approaching. Their denial will mean that I will not be able to file. And if I'm not able to file, that means I can't contest. And that is why we need the expeditious nature of this thing to be enacted, so that I'll be able to register and file accordingly and win the seat for the NDC party.
So are you going to leave this place because you've not really been granted anything that you have required? They say that the leadership at their national headquarters, they are in a meeting. What happens when we leave here? Are you going to stay here till you get a card?
No, we've been having a very good conversation with the regional officer, and she's made it out, known to us that she's talking to national.
That's Dr. Kwamina Minta Nyako, and we're still waiting to get some answers from the Electoral Commission on this particular issue. When we return from business, the poor state of roads and drainage systems top of the agenda for residents of Lojokuku.
See, all this why has Okoboy not be able to construct the road? And he waits for 3 months, 2 months for election before he start doing something. Okoboy will win this election with few imagine.
A Hugh Imagine, and that's the battleground. That's how it's going to look like tonight between Dr. Bernard Okoboy of the NPP and NDC's Ben Ayiku. I'll tell you more about it after business. George?
Obviously, we'll be waiting forward to that interesting analysis you guys will be giving. And you know, Okoboy is an Odadia, you know, so the Odadia spirit, you know, with the support on Odadia, whichever party you are in, you understand?
Okay, wow.
Well, coming up in business, Commercial Bank disbursed over 4 billion Ghana cedis in fresh credit to businesses during COVID-19 restrictions. In economists, Professor Peter Kote describes the cocoa price increase as a move expected to halt smuggling of the bean to neighboring countries. I'll be getting you more details on that one. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one-stop shop for all your office essentials. And First National Bank, we are the bank that understands your business. First National Bank, how can we help you?
Look at you, the big boss.
You know they hear.
You know they fear who?
Until somebody says, I will tell your mother.
That's why we say wear a mask, or else
we will call your mother.
Hey, why are you disgracing me? Why your mask?
Wear it for her. Wear it for me everywhere you go. MTN. Visit wearit4.me to send a message to someone.
We give you nothing but the best. We stay above the rest. More quality, more affordability. Kingdom Books and Stationery. Everybody's going to the one and only shop where customer satisfaction is a guarantee. Kingdom Books and Stationery.
Oh yes, with our 30 days credit facility with no interest charge, free delivery services, and our free consultation on setting up your office, Kingdom Books and Stationery is unmatched in our delivery of quality and affordable office essentials, equipment, and furniture.
Experience world-class customer service in all our branches in Accra, Tema, Kumasi, Cape Coast, and Takoradi.
Call us on 0302-764-101
or visit our website at www.kingdomgh.com.
Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one-stop shop for all office essentials and stationery. Terms and conditions apply.
My buddy, why you for just the watch when you can be wild proper? When you for scream, shout, she and kata, put your body, get down, fire your body, catch views, drop the mic. Ghana, the time cut where we for change the way we watch. Welcome to Showmax and to Chow Online Entertainment, from movies and series to sports like EPL and La Liga. Feel it from Super Sport and more. You feel enjoy them on any device, anytime. Visit showmax.com today. Men's lucky.
My guy, it's been a while.
My guy, I'm looking for a safe place in Ghana where I can invest after losing all that money last year. I know you are the investigation minister.
Currently, if you're looking for a safe and dependable fund manager, then it's EDCO. They are the investment banking subsidiary of EcoBank Group, and their fixed income unit trust is the biggest collective investment scheme right here in Ghana. It has generated returns above the treasury bill rate since its inception. You can access your funds anytime without penalties.
Hey, really?
Yes. Access their services at any EcoBank branch. call 0302-634165 or WhatsApp them on 0595-235065. Also, you can conveniently fund your account using mobile money on all networks, internet banking or EcoBank mobile app, and many more.
Thank you, Akwesi. I'll call them right away.
Hey, not even a bye-bye. With EDC, financial independence is possible. Terms and conditions apply.
Puma Drinks, ready to add flavor to your life? Puma Drinks, bursting with so many flavors, you just can't have enough.
The exhibition of the voters register for the 2020 election is here.
The Electoral Commission of Ghana will display the provisional voters register at all polling stations designated as exhibition centers where voters registered recently from 18th to 25th September 2020, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. each day. Do not assume that your name is in the register. Go personally to your polling station with your voter's ID card as evidence to 1. Verify your details of registration to make sure that your name, photograph and other particulars are in the register. 2. Make claims for omitted data such as name, age or sex to be included in the register. 3. Amend details such as incorrect name, sex, age and unclear photographs in the register and on your voter ID card. 4. Know your polling station ahead of the elections. And 5. Object to the inclusion of names of unqualified persons on stated grounds. The EC has introduced a mobile telephony tracking SMS platform to enable registered voters access their registration details using their mobile phones. Very simple. Text your voter ID to 1422 on all networks to verify your details on the voters register. To ensure a safe and secure exhibition of voters register exercise, the Electoral Commission will direct all registrants to observe compulsory protection protocols like wearing of face masks, temperature checks, social distancing and hand sanitizing instituted by government as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic at all exhibition centers. Exhibition of the Provisional Voters Register is from 18th to 25th September 2020, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. each day, including Saturday and Sunday. Remember, the only way to guarantee that your name is in the voters register is to take part in the exhibition exercise. 2020 exhibition of the voters register exercise. Your safety, our concern.
Participate in the exhibition of the voters register.
You're welcome back to Business on Newsnight. Now, economist Professor Peter Cote has described the proposed increase in cocoa price as a good move expected to halt the smuggling of the bean. Now, this is coming after President Akufo-Addo announced a 28% hike in the metric ton of cocoa beans, representing 660 cedis hike. Professor Peter Cote tells Joy Business this could have a positive impact on the economy in the short term.
The increase in the producer price of cocoa is certainly a welcome idea. I believe farmers will be very excited about this because with 20% increment, if you take out inflation, you're talking of something in the region of 12% increase in the real price of cocoa. That will certainly motivate farmers not to smuggle, because we've had instances where cocoa is being smuggled to neighboring countries like Cote d'Ivoire. So once local prices are good, then farmers will be incentivized to sell locally, and that is a boost to production. These days we've had farmers sometimes cutting their crops to other cash crops, cultivate other cash crops. So when producer prices are good, then certainly cocoa production or farming would certainly be enhanced.
Professor Peter Cote is an economist. Now, commercial banks say they have advanced over 4 billion Ghana cedis in fresh credit to businesses during the COVID-19 restrictions. Now, this represents a significant increase in what has been given to enterprises from March this year to April. President of the Ghana Association of Bankers, Alhassan Andani, tells Joy Business the credit has been directed to sectors that would help stimulate growth. He has been speaking ahead of his appearance on PM Express Business Edition tonight at 9 p.m.
Look, if we are, and I believe we are, allocating resources efficiently, we are allocating credit to the right sectors. And there are some sectors now who don't need credit, they need accommodation. So if you take the hotels, they've taken expecting hotels to repay loans. No financier will be expecting large volumes of loans to build this infrastructure, which they were paying according to a time schedule. Because the world has shut down, if you were looking for this hotel to be paying, so the entire 2020, no bank, no financier will be expecting hotels to repay loans. Nobody will be expecting all these small traders who plied their trade on the street to be repaying loans just because their world had come to a halt. Banks have to absorb all of that. And I was happy to look at the economic data recently, agriculture. And I've always held that with all the monetary loosening that we are seeing, if we were plowing that into local production and local consumption, the fear of causing inflation would not arise. But if there was money loosening, if we gave cedis and people then went on to buy dollars in order to import goods, then we are really creating inflation. So I was very happy to see, in spite of all the sectors contracting, agriculture was still growing.
And that is the president of the Ghana Association of Bankers, Hassan Andani, speaking on the topic banking beyond COVID-19. We'll be giving us more details on PM Express Business Edition at 9 p.m. on Joy News Channel on Multi TV. Now, the IMF is projecting that the economy will pick up strongly by the end of this year. Now, this is coming after the economy contracted significantly for the second quarter of this year. But speaking to the graphic business on their banking and more program, country representative Dr. Namama said the restrictions would actually be eased and things will get better for us.
What we always said, at least from March, was that we were confident that growth will remain positive this year. And I think on this front, Ghana really stand out compared to some of the countries that have contracted massively. At the same time, we also highlight the uncertainty in our projections. If you recall, we started initially by cutting growth to 1.5% in April, around the time of the RCF, and we went further to cut it to 0.9% in line with what the government is doing. So for the year as a whole, we were always forecasting a positive growth number.
Dr. Tunamama is the IMF country representative, and he was speaking on the graphic business program, banking and more. Now, cocoa farmers are appealing to government for a certification that would help in the export of their commodity. Now, this will enable them compete fairly on the global market. At the Policy Objective Review Conference in Accra, President of the association, Patrick Nabia, said that this would greatly help in their fortunes of the commodity.
We want the government to support us, go ahead with the capacity, the capacity building, and then certification of farmers, so they will be able to compete globally, because now the global is demanding this certificate. So they want the government to assist us to go through the certification. It has been a challenge because the government has not still listened to, neither recognize the demand for the certification. We are trying to make the target of $2 billion annually in terms of coconut revenue to this country.
And that's the president of the Cocoa Farm Association of Ghana, Patrick Ndabi. And that's all for Business on Newsnight. Back to you, Emefa and Evan.
You're still listening to Newsnight. It's on Joy 99.7 FM. Well, the Media Foundation for West Africa is vowing to go to court if they must to compel the National Communications Authority to provide it with documents relating to the shutdown of some radio stations. Well, the Media Foundation for West Africa says it's examined the process that led to the shutdown of some stations, and they believe part of that was politically motivated.
It is quite surprising, quite sad, quite baffling that the NCA at this point would want to hide critical information from the public. And we are saying that in defense of the rights, our fundamental rights to access information, and in defense of the public's right to know, we are going to continue this struggle, even if it will take us years, even if it will take us going to the court. That is something that we are prepared to do. It is therefore untenable for a public institution to decide that the way to go about its work is to hide vital information from the public in order to perhaps cover up exercise that they had undertaken, in which they, went about it with a lot of discrimination. And we believe, as I said, that the whole exercise was politically motivated.
I want to bring in now the head of the Media Foundation for West Africa, who joins us on the telephone line right now, Suleiman Abraham. Mr. Abraham, so how did you come to the conclusion that this may be politically motivated?
Well, Evans,
quite clearly from the developments, one cannot draw any other conclusion. Indeed, I have, over the period, made known the fact that I took a simple call from me to the NCA to raise questions about gaps within their own data. That pointed to the fact that there were several dozens of radio stations that they themselves had published as stations that were authorized, in which, and within their own data, evidence pointing clearly that those stations had not, renewed their authorization. And it is as a result of non-renewal that we were told a number of stations had to be shut down. So the question then is, if the NCA has nothing to hide, why would they change their database, remove critical pieces of information just a week after we had called them to ask these questions?
I heard you say that you plan to go to court to get additional documentation. Your request hasn't been granted still?
No, it hasn't. And again, we asked, if the NCA has nothing to hide, what does it take to give the public the list of radio stations that had been shut down? And we wonder why the NCA would say that it would take them research and sweat to be able to produce a list of the stations that they themselves had shut down. It's a clear indication that there is something that they want to hide. And of course, if we have to go to court to compel them to produce the information for the public, that is something that we are prepared to do.
That is Suleiman Abrama there. Of course, we had tended to get some clarity and reaction from the Information Ministry, the NCA itself. We are not in the process yet to bring you that side of the story. When we do, of course, expecting that a statement may be issued on this, when we do, we'll bring that to you. So listen to Newsnight. It's on Joy 99.7 FM.
It's time now for sports. Baba Tando joins us.
And news just coming in has it that the Ghana Football Association has just announced that the 2020-2021 season will commence in November. This follows the decision of government to ease restrictions on football activities. The Ghana Premier League is expected to kick start on Friday, November 13, 2020, while the Division 1 League starts on December 3. The Women's Premier League is set to kick off on January 2, 2021. And we know that it's well been over 6 months since football in Ghana was halted due to COVID-19. Now, clubs must fulfill all club licensing regulation requirements, and this is the responsibility of the club licensing board. And all legal requirements, in fact, all 5 thematic areas must be met and submitted to the GFA by October 5, 2020. And away from that, the draw for the 2020 Roland Garros ended a couple hours ago, and tournament favorite Rafael Nadal, who is seeking a record-extending 13th French Open title, will take on Bulgaria's Igor Gerasimov in the first round and faces a potential last 8 clash with US Open runner-up Alexander Zverev, who has never made it past the quarterfinals at the clay courts Grand Slam. Britain Andy Murray will begin his campaign against former champion and number 16 seed Stan Wawrinka in a mouth-watering first-round tie. Top seed Novak Djokovic of Serbia will face Swede Mikael Ymer. In the ladies division, Serena Williams, who is hoping to win a record-equaling 24th Grand Slam singles title, will start her campaign against fellow American Christy Ahn. 6th seed, that's Serena Williams, who was drawn in the same half as top seed Simona Halep, faces a potential 4th-round clash with US Open runner-up Victoria Azarenka. The Roland Garros 2020 was rescheduled from May 24 to June 7 to September 27 to October 11 amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Visit myjoyonline.com/sports for details on all fixtures. And quickly, the Carabao Cup is ongoing in England, and some interesting results coming in. We have Bristol City losing 2-0 to Aston Villa, Lincoln City 0, Liverpool 1, and Liverpool's goal was scored by Xherdan Shaqiri. And then the third fixture for today is 14 minutes old. It's between Manchester City and AFC Bournemouth. It's 14 minutes into that game, goalless. And at 7 p.m., there will be the UEFA Super Cup between Bayern München and Sevilla in Budapest, Hungary. You are up to date in the world of sport. I am Baba Tando.
Well, the National Science and Maths quiz pundits are predicting tough opposition for Accra Academy as they come up against Asin State College.
Well, you may think Asin State College is not one of the biggest names in NSMQ history, but they kicked out Infantiman girls at the regional qualifications, denying them a place at the national competition. They also beat Ghana National College at the preliminary stage of the competition. Now, the two contestants who represented the school last year are back this year. Will Accra Academy progress to the next stage? There's more in this report.
There will be 27 contests at the 1/8 stage of the competition before the quarterfinals. But even before the live balloting ended, some contests caught the attention of some Ghanaians. They say the contest between Prempeh College, Thomas Aquinas, and Asanteman SHS will be fierce. Prempeh College has won the NSMQ 4 times and working hard to be at par with the 5-time winning record of the Sec Legon. But would St. Thomas Aquinas be an impediment? St. Thomas Aquinas SHS is the only day school that has won the National Science and Maths Quiz. It is the second highest scoring school in the just ended preliminaries with 65 points. They will definitely be a hard nut to crack.
Because we know we've prepared quite well. A horse is prepared for battle, but victories of the Lord.
We know by the grace of God we'll be able to qualify each and every stage we meet, and we'll bring the cup home.
In other contests, Infantipim School will face off with St. Mary's SHS and Kumasi Academy. Many have described the contest between Wesley Girls High School, Tema Methodist Day SHS, and Sunrise SHS as a walkover for Wegehe. But Sunrise SHS is on record to have kicked out Opokuwari School in 2018 when they made their first appearance at the National Science and Maths Quiz.
Well, of course, that contest is going to be one mouth-watering one to look forward to. Another one to look forward to is 8 p.m. tonight. Lejukuku is on the battleground. We are going to be there with an interesting report. And what I'm looking forward to is what, of course, Blaze said when he went to the constituency. He saw Bernard Okoboy doing something very interesting as part of his campaign. You want to join us to discover what that is?
On the battleground at 8 p.m. And before then, we have personality profile with Lexis Bill. We are hosting the General Secretary of the NPP, John Boyjo. You want to stay for that? I am Emefa. I've been doing this with Evans Mensah.